So, Rocco's Modern Life is 30 years old this month. 30 years old. It came September 1993. Yeah. Rocco's Modern Life was just one of those shows. It was random, it was crazy. Some of the episodes made no sense whatsoever. One of my favorite episodes was Wacky Deli. Uh, it's the episode with Mr. and Mrs. Bighead's son Ralph. And he's like this cartoon animator. And he enlists the help of Rocco, Heifer, and Filbert. And the cartoon they make called Wacky Deli, it's it's amazing. Rocco's playing this talking female baloney. I think Heifer is doing the salami, and Filbert is the cheese. He's just a slice of cheese, and Rocco's like, "Oh boy, what a beautiful day!" And then Heifer's character comes like, "I hate bologna," and Filbert, it's a phone call and picks up and hello, and then Filbert's like, "I am the cheese. I am the best character on this show. I am more popular than the bologna and salami combined." And it's just like it eventually repeats itself and just it madness going on. It's um but they've got the theme song here. I don't like this version. I prefer I believe it's the original version and then they changed it to this, but
Rocko's Modern Life. Rocko's Modern Life.
so there's that. And it's this the music, it's the music in the other one is a lot more memorable. It's the same like opening, but the music is different. And I think this one's just far superior.
Good, isn't it?
Rocko's Modern Life.
Um, I don't think I've heard this for 20 plus years, and I'm only now realizing that the fucking B-52s did the theme. You had moments like this. Remember, be hot, be naughty, and be courteous. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. And then on the other line is Mrs. Bighead, and she's like, "Rocco?" And he's like, "Mrs. Bighead? Congratulations!" And then you have moments like this. And the page, wash your hands. And the page, wash your hands. Um, but Nickelodeon back, Reptar. Reptar, gotta find that Reptar. Reptar on ice. Hey, there's some kids on the ice. What's the dinosaur to do when there's kids on the ice? Quick, somebody call their moms. It's just great. Um, Rugrats with and one of my personal favorites, Lonely Space Vixen. Um, but we got Rocco's Modern Life, Ren and Stimpy. That show just threw out everything you knew about reality. And I think one of the most memorable, probably because they showed it all the time, was what was it called? Space Madness, where they're in space and Ren eventually goes crazy and he's like eating the bar of soap, calling it his ice cream bar. And he's starting to give in to the madness. Then you've got the blue barracudas and the silver snakes for Legends of the Hidden Temple. That show. I mean, that show. That show is very interesting. especially the one room. You know that room. You know the best room in the entire temple, the Shrine of the Silver Monkey. Probably the easiest freaking room in the whole temple, and somehow like the kids would get up to that room, and some of them would be in there the whole duration of the time because they're like, "Duh, me not know how put monkey together." I mean, you see the base of it, this rectangular base, and you see a piece that has a rectangular base on the bottom. That should tell you that goes first. But then you see like some people putting the bait, like the body on there, and then trying to put the base on top of it. It's like, no, the base goes on the bottom. You see the roundish part with the pole going through it. That's the head. That goes on top. So that means the piece that must be the body. But no, there's some people who are like, uh, but Nickelodeon back in the '90s just had amazing shows, whether live action or cartoons. I mean, live action, you had, like I said, Legends of the Hidden Temple. You had Guts. Do you have it? Oh, do you have it? Guts. Mike O'Malley and, you know, let's go to Momo. Um, Double Dare, Wild and Crazy Kids, if you guys remember that. Roundhouse, all that. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Clarissa Explains Nothing. I know it's Clarissa Explains It All, but uh Nick Arcade, which was really cool because one of the games that they could play was Sonic, and it was the beta version of Sonic because they were able to go through the Hidden Palace zone, which wasn't released in the game because it was a beta level. Um, Salute Your Shorts, amazing show. Adventures of Pete and Pete, Animorphs, if anyone remembers acting on Nick. Mystery Files, Shelby Woo, which had Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita. Hey Dude, which extremely boring show. Fire theme song though. Hey Dude. What else? Land of the Lost, same thing. Amazing theme song. Alex Mack, Alan Strange. Uh, can't say all that. You can't say that on TV. What other ones am I missing? I feel like there's more. Keenan and Kel, of course. I said all that. I said, Are You Afraid of the Dark? But then you have like cartoons, Rugrats and Doug and Ren and Stimpy, Kablam. Like Kablam was like a variety show. You had Action League Now, Prometheus and Bob, Sniz and Fondue, Life with Loopy, and it was hosted by Henry and June, which were like these characters. And I think there was one episode where they were like real life. It was the characters, but they were people. It was weird. I think they only showed that episode like once. Um, yeah, Doug. Also very boring. Like a great show, but when you go back, you're like, wow, it really is boring. But it's just the life of a teenager, kid going through puberty and experiencing all these things for the first time. And uh, Rugrats had a lot of adult stuff. And my personal favorite, Lonely Space Vixens. Um, what else? Trying to remember what else. Um, Sometimes I'm remembering things that were on like on the weekends and not even on Nick. Like you had like Recess and Pepperan and stuff like that. But that wasn't even on Nickelodeon. That was another channel entirely. I miss the 90s. You know, Saturday mornings, you wake up, you know, Goosebumps is on. Um, actually, what's the? I'm trying to remember the song. Hang on, I'm gonna find it. All right, it's right here, and thanks to fried tofu chicken.
Monday morning, wake up time, gets to work and stand in line. What would make her feel real fine? One Saturday morning. Coming up next is Tuesday's grind. The week is young, but I'm out of my mind. What would make her feel real fine? One Saturday morning. Wednesday, Thursday, jammed in the middle. Once again, makes pose a riddle. What strikes me loose, but plays like a fiddle? One Saturday morning. Friday has an exit sign, but gets in there still takes some time. What would make her feel real fine? One Saturday morning.
You get the idea. There was like that on Saturday mornings. You know, Stickly with Nick in the afternoon. It's time for Stickly on Nick in the afternoon. That one. Um, I miss I miss the freaking 90s. Can I just, if I had one wish, I would be able to just make it the 90s again. I would just make it the 90s again. You know? It's like you say when you're a kid that, oh man, I can't wait to grow up. But then when you're grown up, you realize how much it sucks. You know, and you realize that the time you had as a kid, you're not getting back. All this stuff, this is the only way we can experience it now, is through YouTube and people who have recorded it, because we can't just go to our TVs anymore and experience it firsthand. It's just recordings now. It's just like just the feeling of getting up in the morning on a Saturday, watching Goosebumps, or staying up at night, you know, for Snick, you know, and watching all that. And Clarissa Explains It All, and Keenan and Kel, and Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it was it was just great, you know. Coming home, you know, Nick in the afternoon, you know, and you know, Stickly, and he'd have the wheel where, you know, whatever show it stops on, that's what would play. The Cartoon Network had Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Um, but Nickelodeon back in the 90s was just everything was fire. You know, even the shows like here's Roundhouse. No one remembers Roundhouse, but I do. Is it the actual? Of course. Okay, so just apologies because it looks like it was filmed and recorded with a freaking potato. So Yay! Such an inspirational pack of pixels. I mean, I remember white person number one, always full of life and, just always so charming. And random person, white person number two, just always had something smart to say. And then the random black guy who always makes. I honestly don't remember much about the show. I know it was like a variety, not like a variety show, but like little skits and stuff like that. And, it's like one of those shows that had like messages and stuff like that. Don't do drugs, kids. Then we had Ron Weasley back here. This was before he got his letter, but kind of makes me wonder what are these people up to? Or half of them are probably dead at this point. I mean, they're not that old, but also Wild and Crazy Kids. I don't even remember the theme song. Hang on. Okay, so this was for Wild and Crazy Kids, which was like a game show type thing.
Welcome to Wild and Crazy Kids! The show that goes anywhere and does anything to find kids having fun. With your hosts, Jessica Gaines, Omar Goody, and Donnie Jeffcoat. Omar.
So just everything, about the 90s. 90s incarnate. No. But yeah, it was just like a little game show type thing, and I remember sometimes they would have guest hosts because what was her name? What's her name from Full House? Oh my God, what's her name? The one who played Kimmy. I forget her name, but she was a host, and it, but yeah, Nickelodeon back in the day was fire. It really was. And if I had one wish, honestly, I'd probably wish to just whatever I can think up, just snap my fingers and have it happen. Because then I could just snap my fingers, go back into the past, and just live in the 90s for a little bit. And then when I get tired, it's like poof, back into my original time. You know? Never grow up, kids, or rather, never say you want to grow up, because when you do grow up, you're going to wish you didn't. I think every one of us at some point said, "Oh man, can't wait to be an adult." And here we are, miserable. Not like in a way where we would admit it, but it was much easier being a kid, you know? But it was but Rocko's Modern Life, 30 years old, which basically makes around everything else, around the same time, you know, age. So, a glowing piece of our radical rock, guts. Um, oh my God, I wish, the 90s just had a charm to it. Even now, you look like, I think I was doing it, like before I was doing this recording, I was listening to songs from the 90s. Just because I just, you know, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Of course you do. You find yourself doing it all the time. Like, I'm trying to regain something I don't have anymore. A childhood, that was a mate. Well, not, it wasn't bad, but I think we all could, wish we could just for a day, just for a day, you know? I mean, even in the thinking like in the summer times and everything, we would go out to like Six Flags and stuff. And if I recall, I would go around and make sure all the AC units were off. I mean, because, we had a two-story house and like every room had an AC unit, but I would be upstairs making sure they were all off. And then when we came home, I'd run upstairs and make sure they were all on. And, it's just one day. I would just like to go back to the 90s for just one day. But we can't. So we can just sit here and wish that we could. But anyway, Rocko's Modern Life. Happy birthday. And what was your favorite show? It doesn't have to be a cartoon. It just any Nick show, or really any, show from the 90s. It doesn't even have to be, Nickelodeon or anything. Were you one of those people like me? You loved Goosebumps? Um, was it I don't know, Daily Kipper? Was it the Crypt Keeper? This little haunted mansion or whatever that game show that it was? Was it what was it called? Round the Twist, where it was like the people living in the lighthouse and stuff like that, or you know, just let me know. Let me know below. And yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.